Hi there, I'm Katie, your safety trainer. Today we're diving into the world of miter saws, a common tool used by many companies for cutting wood and similar materials. Like any powerful tool, miter saws come with their risks if not handled or maintained correctly. In this video, we'll explore how miter saws differ from chop saws, identify the hazards they present, discuss the essential personal protective equipment needed for safe operation, and go through some best practices for using these saws safely. Let's ensure you're well prepared to handle these tools without any hiccups. When we talk about miter saws, you might hear them occasionally referred to as chop saws. But don't let that confuse you. There are key differences between these two. Miter saws are generally smaller, with blades that typically come in 10 or 12 inches. They're specially designed for making a variety of angled or beveled cuts on wood and materials similar to wood. Plus, compound miter saws have a cool feature. They can rotate on a horizontal axis, giving you extra flexibility with your cuts. On the other hand, chop saws are the bigger siblings in the tool family. They operate at lower speeds compared to miter saws and are tailored for making straightforward, up and down cuts, mainly on metal. This makes each saw suitable for different tasks, so choosing the right one is crucial for your project. Enjoying this safety video? There's more where that came from on Got Safety Lite. Sign up for free and gain access to our library of over 1,800 safety videos. If we don't have the lesson you're looking for, we'll make it at no cost. Click the link to sign up today. When you're operating a miter saw, it's crucial to be aware of the hazards that come with the territory. One of the most common risks involves your eyes. Flying sawdust and debris can easily irritate or even injure your eyes if protective measures aren't taken. Then there's your hearing to consider. Miter saws can be loud, and without proper ear protection, you might risk hearing loss or damage over time. But it doesn't stop there. The very real dangers of cuts, lacerations, or even amputation loom if any part of your body comes into contact with that swiftly moving blade. And let's not forget about the potential for getting your clothing, long hair, or jewelry entangled in the blade, another safety risk to keep in mind. Respiratory health is another concern, as breathing in sawdust can irritate or damage your lungs. Lastly, there's the risk of electrical shock or even electrocution, particularly if the saw isn't properly grounded or it's used in wet conditions. Always prioritize your safety by being prepared and aware of these hazards. To minimize your risk of injury while operating a miter saw, it's essential to wear the right personal protective equipment or PPE. This includes safety glasses or goggles to shield your eyes from flying debris. You might also consider a face shield for an extra layer of protection. Hearing protection is another must-have, given the high noise levels of these saws. Make sure your clothing fits close to your body to avoid any loose fabric getting caught in the machine. Closed-toed shoes, or even better, steel-toed boots, are crucial to protect your feet from any accidents. Before you gear up, take a moment to inspect all your PPE for any signs of wear or damage. If you find anything that's worn out or damaged, don't use it. Report it to your supervisor immediately. Remember, wearing damaged PPE is as good as wearing none at all. When it comes to operating a miter saw, there are several safe work practices you should always follow to ensure not just your safety, but also the safety of those around you. Start by tying back any long hair and removing all jewelry to prevent any accidental entanglements with the saw. It's crucial to be thoroughly familiar with your miter saw's owner's or operator's manual. Knowing your equipment inside and out is a big part of safe operation. Regularly inspect the saw for any signs of wear, missing, modified, or damaged parts. If your saw doesn't pass inspection, report it to your supervisor immediately, and remember, never use a saw that isn't in top condition. Take a close look at the saw blade too. Ensure that both the body and teeth of the blade are in good condition. If you find worn or broken teeth, follow your company's policies and only use manufacturer-recommended blades for replacements or sharpening. Make sure the blade is clean of any tree sap in accordance with your company's policies and the manufacturer's instructions. Check that all guards are securely in place. A missing or damaged guard can be a major hazard, so report any issues right away and do not operate the saw without them. Similarly, ensure that all warning and safety labels on the saw are legible and in good condition. Worn or illegible labels should be reported and replaced as needed. Make sure the saw table is properly secured to workbenches or tables as per the manufacturer's instructions. Before you start cutting with a miter saw, inspect the wood for knots, nails, and other defects. Handle any problematic pieces according to your company's guidelines to avoid any issues during the cutting process. Always adjust the miter saw table to your desired angle while the saw is turned off. Ensure the piece of wood you're planning to cut meets the manufacturer's minimum size recommendations. Smaller pieces can be hazardous as they might get picked up and thrown by the blade. Securely fasten the wood pieces before you start cutting, following both the manufacturer's instructions and your company's policies. Also, make sure all dust collection systems are properly attached to help maintain a clean and safe workspace. Stay alert at all times when making cuts. Allow the blade to reach full speed before you start cutting, and avoid forcing the blade through the material to prevent it from binding or kicking back. Keep your hands and other extremities safely away from the moving blade. Most miter saw manufacturers provide specific guidelines on safe hand placements, often recommending keeping hands at least 6 to 7 inches away from the blade. Always refer to your specific saw's manual for detailed instructions. Wait for the blade to come to a complete stop before moving it back into the rest position and removing the cut material. And once you're done, clean the saw according to the manufacturer's instructions and your company's guidelines. To wrap up, remember that miter saws are invaluable tools for cutting wood and similar materials across various industries. But just like any powerful tool, improper use or maintenance can lead to serious injuries. To keep yourself safe, always wear the appropriate personal protective equipment and operate the saw strictly according to the manufacturer's instructions and your company's guidelines. If you ever have any questions or uncertainties about using your specific miter saw, don't hesitate to consult your supervisor. They're there to help you ensure that every cut you make is a safe one. That's all for today's lesson. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to follow us on social media for more tips and updates. And remember, stay safe out there. Miter saw safety. Katie, take 1, 9, 12, 2, 4. Put a saw mask on me. Here, I'm holding the saw.
Your hand. Wait, move your hand so it's not in front of your face.